Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. And many people need a break after I'm finished speaking. It happens quite often. Also, I'd like to thank Chairman Grijalva and certainly Ranking Member Bentz and the members of the Water, Oceans, and Wildlife Subcommittee for inviting me to speak today on behalf of my bill, H.R. 1851, the St. Mary's Reinvestment Act. The Milk River Irrigation Project is critical infrastructure in north central Montana, known as the lifeline of the High Line. The project reroutes water via diversion dams, canals, drops, and siphons from the St. Mary's River near Glacier National Park to supply water to residents throughout the Milk River Basin. During parts of the year, the St. Mary's supply system can provide upwards of 90% of Milk River's water flow and is critical to irrigators and water users throughout the region. While it was designed as a single purpose project for irrigation, it's critical for many towns, businesses, recreation, wildlife, and to the very way of life for the High Line. Today, the project supplies approximately 18,000 Montanans with municipal water and irrigates nearly 150,000 acres across the state. It's also a critical water source for the Blackfeet and Fort Belknap reservations. Authorized in 1903, the Milk River Project is one of the oldest Bureau of Reclamation projects in the nation. Initial funds were provided in 1905 and construction was completed in 1917, over 100 years ago. Already far beyond its anticipated life expectancy, the project is in desperate need of a full rehabilitation. In May of last year, one of the St. Mary's concrete drop structures north of Cutbank, Montana, suffered catastrophic failure. The collapse of Drop 5 structure jeopardized access for water users and irrigators throughout the region. Thankfully, no one was injured. And while they were able to make repairs to Drop 5 and get it back online, much of the system remains in disrepair. I personally toured the project several weeks ago and was extremely concerned by what I saw. Holes in steel siphons standing 6 feet tall, with water flowing freely from those leaks, crumbling concrete structures, water access for the region hanging on by a thread, knowing not if the next catastrophic failure happens, but when. That's why the St. Mary's Reinvestment Act is so important and why I'm so pleased the subcommittee is holding this hearing today. The time to act is now. Highline residents cannot afford the risk that neglecting this long neglected project poses any longer. The St. Mary's Reinvestment Act requires the Secretary of the Interior, acting through the Commissioner of Reclamation, to conduct a study of the ability of local irrigators and water users to pay for St. Mary Canal Rehabilitation Phase 1 project. Based on this study, the bill requires the Commissioner of Reclamation to establish repayment terms for the percentage of the cost to be borne by the stakeholders. The act also establishes that the cost share of the project shall not be less than 26.04%, a percentage that was worked out by the stakeholders. H.R. 1851 authorizes the use of appropriated funds to carry out the project and authorizes the appropriation of $52 million for the St. Mary Canal Rehabilitation Phase 1 project. And importantly, the bill provides that the project and all replacement activities are done in consultation with the Blackfeet tribe to ensure their tribal sovereignty is respected throughout this process. The bill is a result of bipartisan, bicameral negotiations and would address a critical need in the state of Montana. Water users and irrigators throughout the High Line are counting on us to support these repairs to this lifeline before it's too late. Again, I'm grateful for the subcommittee for holding this hearing on my bill and for allowing me to participate in the hearing today. I look forward to hearing from the other witnesses and for the thoughtful consideration of this very important piece of legislation. Thank you very much, Chairman, and I yield back.